Hey there, Reds. Welcome to Manchester United Daily Updates, your daily hub for all things Manchester United. From transfer news to match, updates and behind-the-scenes stories, we've got it all. Let's get started. Ruben Amorim says Rasmus Hojlund takes up bad positions. Ruben Amorim has been talking about Rasmus Hojlund's goal drought and loss of form at Manchester United. In the embargoed section of the pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow's game against Ipswich, Amorim said, "I think it's clear. We as a team, we are not helping Rasmus. We don't create a lot of chances. We have a lack of threat, and you can feel it in the games. Sometimes we are in the final third, but you don't feel like we are a very dangerous team. And you feel it also when we are defending a little bit more low. Sometimes the opponent are not afraid of transitions. So we are not helping the strikers. I think Rasmus Hojlund has a lot of potential. If we improve the way we play the game, he will have more opportunities to score. He came here very young, and when you're very young to be the no 9 and play all the time, sometimes it's hard. It's everything together, the context. We have to look at Rasmus as a player. He has the pace, he has the technique. He's scored some goals that are really hard to score. Sometimes he doesn't choose the better run. Sometimes he's so anxious to touch the ball because he passes long minutes without the ball, and he moves away from the goal where he's supposed to be, especially in the final third. The reporter asked if Hojlund shows he can be a lethal finisher in training. Yes, Amorim replied emphatically. I see it in training. He has the ability. It's more a team thing than a Rasmus thing. If we improve, he will. The boss was also asked about Luke Shaw and when he would return to action. No, I don't know when he'll be back. He's doing his rehab, but we don't have a date for him yet. Asked if it was the same situation with Mason Mount, he replied, not specifically, no. I think he's closer than Luke Shaw, but we don't have a specific date for return. The next question was whether Amorim felt his players were running like mad dogs, as he had asked for a few months previously. I think they've improved. The data shows that, but we can do much better. Sometimes the confidence is like they train very well, but in the game they are not so confident. It's hard in certain moments, so they can't do what they do in training. On the redundancies announced this week, Amorim was asked how staff and fans can have confidence things will change. I think we have to show. It's easy for me to be here and say all the pretty stuff. We have to improve recruitment. It's crucial. We have to make the team better. We have to be in Europe and not in our position during the season, and that's all. They are paying the price for our lack of success, and I can say nothing now to convince the fans and staff things will get better. Amorim was also asked about Patrick Dorgu's start at the club. I'm happy with Patrick because he has the abilities we look for. He has the physicality, the technique. He has a lot to improve, but you can see in the difficult moment, you can see good things in Patrick. On the pressure the players are feeling, Amorim said, they are in a bubble. They don't feel that pressure of people losing their job. But every time we lose, when they don't perform, there's a lot of people on social media putting a lot of pressure, and then they go to the pitch and the training and try to fix things not in a good way. They think too much. They suffer a different pressure. Things said by former players, they take it so personal. Again, on the redundancies, he added, I'm focused on my job. If you look at our team, you'll see that we have a lot of things to improve in my department. So I'm focused on improving my performance within the club. We have a lot of people evaluating in all departments, the best ones who should stay and those who should go. So I'm just focused on my part. I have to improve my performance as manager of this club. We have to understand, Ruben Amorim speaks out on Manchester United job cuts. Up to 200 members of staff at Man United could be made redundant amid years of mismanagement at the club. Ruben Amorim insists Manchester United must understand what they did wrong after the club announced another round of redundancies. United have lost £300 million in the past 3 years and laid off 250 employees last year, with up to 200 more set to be let go this year amid more cost-cutting measures. Staff were informed of plans to further cut the workforce on Monday. Amorim replaced Erik ten Hag as manager in November, but United have taken 15 points from his 15 Premier League games in charge and are 15th. The club have spent nearly £2 billion on signings since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, but only Bruno Fernandes and Zlatan Ibrahimovic are considered out-and-out successes of the dozens of recruits over the past 12 years. United could go 2 years without Champions League football since they first re-entered the competition in 1993 next season, or miss out on European qualification altogether. When asked if the job cuts reaffirm the importance of results, Amorim replied, "That is clear, and we have to, of course, address all the problems in the club. But one important piece of this moment is to understand how we get to this situation, and it has to do a lot with the lack of success of the football team, because I think we are the engine of any football club. I just want to help improve the club in my department, to improve the team and the players to have success. It's always hard for everybody. They see their friends and teammates, as you can say, losing their job. But again, we have to focus on what I can do to help the club in this moment. And we as a club have to understand what we did wrong to get to this situation. We need to think in solutions in this moment. It's hard enough to win games. We know this year was really hard for everybody. And we did as a club a lot of changes. And when you are doing the changes, if you have a football team that is doing well and are winning games, in a certain way it's easier for the fans and for everybody to feel the changes. But in this moment, we are in a difficult period inside the club and inside the pitch. We have to fight against this feeling, and we have to do our job and are trying our best in this moment to help the team do better. Man U TED News, Ruben Amorim maintains job loss status as club record transfer backed. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has continued to blame the poor results on the pitch for the club's major staff cuts after another round of redundancies was announced. Manchester United's fortunes show no sign of improving, be that on or off the pitch. The Red Devils needed 2 late goals to avoid defeat at Everton on Saturday, as they took a point against former manager David Moyes. It did little to improve their Premier League position, as they remain in 15th and on course for more unwanted records. Off the pitch, Ineos continued to be ruthless in their attempts to make the club a powerhouse once again. They have already cut numerous jobs, with more now announced, as Sir Jim Ratcliffe makes it clear that United are towing the line financially following several unprofitable years with more jobs to go. Here's the latest from the red side of Manchester. Amorim blames results for job cuts. Amorim has continued to insist that poor performances on the pitch are costing staff members their jobs after another round of staff cuts was announced in Manchester. Ratcliffe has come in and looked for ways to save cash with long-serving employees paying the price. United laid off 250 employees last year, with up to 200 more set to be let go this year. Staff were informed of plans to further cut the workforce on Monday, and Amorim, who previously said the team were responsible, has doubled down on his view. He said that is clear, and we have to, of course, address all the problems in the club. But one important piece of this moment is to understand how we get to this situation, and it has to do a lot with the lack of success of the football team, because I think we are the engine of any football club. I just want to help improve the club in my department, to improve the team and the players to have success. York backs Pogba. Return club legend Dwight York has urged his former club to sign Paul Pogba for the 3rd time despite the nature of his 2 exits. The midfielder left as a teenager for Juventus and then, back in 2022, allowed his contract to wind down and he left for free. Pogba has previously been a hugely influential figure, but he's been tipped to improve United. The World Cup winner has had to sit on the sidelines after being hit with a drugs ban, but that suspension ends next month, and York wants the club to bring him back and challenge him to produce his best football once again. York said, "I would give Paul Pogba a 3rd chance, definitely, because of what United currently have and because of what we know he is capable of producing. I would say, let's have a look. Give him a contract. You've got time here to prove yourself." Amorim doesn't feel Old Trafford pressure. Amorim insists he doesn't feel pressure to win games at Old Trafford despite their horrific record at their home stadium. United have lost 5 of their last 6 matches at Old Trafford, with the likes of Crystal Palace and Bournemouth leaving with all 3 points. Ipswich head to Manchester on Wednesday night, seeking just their 2nd win on the road all season. Amorim expects to win the majority of games they play on their own patch and has praised the supporters for sticking with the team. He said, "Since I arrived, when I took the job, I expected to win all the games at home. I don't feel the pressure. The supporters are amazing, and every time you go to one game at Old Trafford, you feel the support until the end. It is a new game, can be a new story, so let's go forward for the game." Ruben Amorim, spot on with prediction, made after watching Manhood Stars just once. Ruben Amorim began his Manchester United tenure with a draw at Ipswich, and the Portuguese manager quickly made it known that his job at Old Trafford was no quick fix. Ruben Amorim said that Manchester United were going to suffer for a long period after his first ever game against Ipswich, and as they prepare to face again, his words have proven prophetic. The Portuguese boss was hired as Erik ten Hag's replacement, and his first assignment was a trip to Portman Road. They were the barometer of the task ahead of him, and Amorim saw Marcus Rashford score in the opening minutes, but eventually the relegation strugglers battled back to secure a point. Amorim arrived with a winning reputation following his time at Sporting Lisbon, but made it known that there would be no quick fix for those at Old Trafford. The United boss took 4 points from his opening 2 games before things quickly went south. The United boss underlined the need for time and patience after only seeing his team play for 90 minutes, and he's still banging that drum now. Amorim has lost 8 of his 15 Premier League games with the team sitting in 15th, and it became apparent that the 40-year-old saw holes in his squad. He said, "I know it's frustrating for the fans, but we are changing so much in this moment. With a lot of games, we are going to suffer for a moment period and try to win games. This will take time. We could win versus Ipswich, but we could also lose if not for Onana. But we have to think and be pragmatic about the fact that these guys had 2 days to train and change so much. United's hectic schedule means that the squad haven't been able to spend huge amounts of time on their formation and system." Amorim made it clear he would waste no time in implementing his 3-4-3 system, but it is yet to result in a positive turnaround. After seeing the data following their 1-1 draw with Ipswich back in November, the United boss said, "First, we have to understand the game. We have to be so much better physically to cope with the high pressure, the volume of the high-speed running, all these things, but we need time to work on these things." Amorim was relaxed with his players in the early stages, insisting the lack of time on the training ground was an issue. He claimed, "My players were thinking too much in the game. You can feel it, not just on the ball, but where they are supposed to be. And that is hard. It's just 2 days with the team, so it's really hard. I think the physicality we needed more in the first half." Since that afternoon, though, his reaction and criticism has been more scathing. The goal scorer Rashford has since been moved on after he was frozen out under Amorim. The United boss has also claimed he's presided over the worst team in Manchester United's history. Ipswich will now head to Old Trafford, looking to add to their total of just 7 points on the road all season. Amorim, meanwhile, has seen United lose 5 of their last 6 league games at their Manchester home.